Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Inessa and I'm an author from Toronto, Canada, and I publish under the pen name Anne Sage. In this video, I am doing something super fun and kind of new for the channel. I am setting up a bullet journal reading journal. I have been really into bullet journaling. I even had a whole channel for bullet journaling before, but it took up too much time and I am on schedule for books and I ghostwrite and I coach other authors, so there's a lot I got going on. I'm also picking up more cover work now, as that used to be pretty much my full-time job, and so we're busy around here in the Sage house. But I do really still like bullet journaling, and I thought because we do videos about planners on this channel that we could try something new in 2025. So the first video to kick off 2025 for this channel is going to be a Bujo video, my favorite. I hope you really like this kind of stuff too, because I am obsessed with it. Between this and crocheting, it is my life. But if you are not subscribed to the channel and you want to, make sure that you do that, because I just realized that I did not talk about the channel at all and I'm only talking about bullet journaling. Essentially, I talk a lot about writing stuff here. I share my journey as an author, having published 24 books now, both traditionally and indie published, and I love to do that on this channel, so feel free to subscribe if you feel like it. I'd really love to have you here. As you can see, I'm still scattered from the holidays, and so this is going to be an interesting voiceover video for you guys. But what I am doing now is setting up the January. I do have a video of how I set up the reading journal, this specific reading journal for the year on this channel, and I will link it either in the cards or somewhere in the description or both. But for this one, I'm setting up January. So January is going to kick off this bullet journal. I'm hoping it lasts me the whole month. I have 3 books that I'm planning to read in January, and you're going to see the setups for all 3 of them. But for now, I am just setting up kind of the cover page, and I wanted to do it more minimally. I don't know what I'm doing here yet. I'm still planning stuff out. I don't know how I'm going to set up this bullet journal. I do want to theme the pages to the books that I'm reading, but I know that I want the cover pages to be kind of like their own and different, and I really like this vintage design and mixing everything together and stamping and all of that, so I'm trying to do that here. I did try to do some calligraphy on the stats page, and I hate it. I used a brush pen that was much too thick, and now it really stands out and is an eyesore, so we're gonna change that next year. But I do really like what's happening with this cover page, so I went into that like winter florals kind of still pastels but very snowy florals feel. And I really like that with the white calligraphy in the back and the stamped January. I'm just adding some of those flowers to the stats page as well. And on the stats page, the only thing I have is the calendar, a favorite book, because every month I want to track what my favorite book was for the month. It will make it easier for me to figure out my yearly favorite book later. And the stats. In the stats, I'll probably just add like how many, if I read it on ebook, or how many pages I read per week, or how many chapters I read per week, or if I read every single day of the week, which I usually try to do. So the stats are going to be kind of different for every month, and that's why the box is empty. And in the calendar section, I'm actually just going to highlight a book, like give each color for a book, so I know when I started reading a book and when I finished reading it. So I have that for myself as well, and that's kind of the way I'll track of how long specific books took me to read, because I find that really interesting to see if my level of interest for the book, it affects how long it takes me to read it. So that's kind of the cover page. And now we're moving on to the first book that I'm going to be reading for the month. So if you have seen me set up my magical readathon in the main video that I did for this book setup, I'm participating in Magical Readathon this year. It's my first time doing it, and so I wanted to take the novice path, and I wanted to kind of like do the Magical Readathon before the April semester starts, and so I am reading books for that part of the readathon. And the first one that I have for this one, it was supposed to be a book that has a map, and so I am reading Fourth Wing. I have been wanting to read this book for quite some time, and so I really like the cover. It's very orange. Orange is not my favorite color, but I figured if I go for this like vintage orange look, I might actually enjoy it. And so I tried to theme all of the stickers that I used to the book covers. That's kind of how I'm doing this. They're still going to be all very vintage because that's kind of my style for this journal, but all the colors will be themed to the actual book covers themselves. And in this case, I had some leftover PET tape that I got as a sample from I believe it was the washi tape, or maybe it was an AliExpress order, one of those. And they work perfectly with the colors, and they've got like, I know it has a fall vibe and we're in winter, but this isn't about the season, and it's not about that main cover page. It's literally about the book cover itself. I also really liked the big map washi tape that I kind of put as the border for this, because I think it like screams kind of fantasy to me, and Fourth Wing is super fantasy. I mean, there's dragons, right, and dragon riders. What I will say is that I wasn't sure how I would feel about this book. And disclaimer, I know that this is going out the beginning of January, but I have already started reading this book because it's a long one. I kind of started it in a bit like later in December, and I did not expect to like it as much as I do. I really am enjoying it. I like the concept. I like the idea of it. I like that it's fantasy, but it's not so out of this world building fantasy that it's hard to relate to, because we already know like dragons and dragon riders, like How to Train Your Dragon. We've seen it all. So it has like a similar feel to what we already understand and know from a fantasy book, and I really like that about it. I have my qualms with Violet, but not enough so that I'm not loving it so far. So I am very happy about that. And then here I'm just kind of like finishing it all up, and that's the spread for the Fourth Wing. Now, the next book that we are going to do here, like I said, I have 3 books, and the last book is a book club selection book, and so I'm going to talk about that in a second, and what book club I am a part of, or surprised, I am running it this year. But not every book I read will be a book club choice, and not every book I read will be a book for the magical readathon. But in this case, because I'm doing the novice path, it just happened to be so. And so the next one I'm reading is another one that's been long on my TBR. And by the way, I'm using this novice path as a way to get through my physical TBR. So these first 2 books, like Wayward and Fourth Wing, are all books that I've already had on my physical TBR and have been meaning to read. And Wayward, I mean, this book gets so many reviews and it's been talked about forever, and it's been like really on my list, and for some reason I was afraid to start it. I don't know why. I feel like in my head it was like a much heavier book than it is, but it's happening, and I'm reading it right after I finish Fourth Wing. I love the cover of this. So you know me, I'm a cover designer, and so visual covers are a big part of who I am, and that vintage feel of the cover with like the splash of orange on the green, it just works for me. It looks so beautiful, I think. And so when I was trying to think of how I'm going to do the design for this one, I didn't really feel like I had the right washies and the right kind of stickers to match, but I did my best. I know I definitely had some of those like oranges and apricots and fruits, and so I figured I would go a little bit more rustic with this one. So for Fourth Wing, we had like the fall, and it was very orange, and this one is just a bit more browns, and as you can see, I'm adding some of those same fruits and peaches and tangerines and whatever they are from the cover here kind of around. And I'm trying to frame these so that I have space to write, but also like I don't like to write and journal for long about every single book. I don't have the time. And so I'm trying to add as much of decoration as I can and kind of structure it so that I can see the book cover there and have it all set up. And then I'm adding just like a little more ephemera so that so I don't have to write like 3 pages about every book in review, because a lot of times like I don't have that much to say. I either really love the book and I'll note why I loved it. Sometimes I'll write down like a favorite quote if I had it. Also, excuse me if you can hear my toddler in the background. I'm filming this and we're still like in December when I'm filming this, and like right at the end of it. and everybody's at home, so it's hectic here. But yeah, I'm just using my stamps to kind of stamp the title. And note to you, if you use stamps, but if you use a darker stamp color, make sure that you wash them off, because as you can see, the orange wasn't exactly oranging in that one. But that was the final cover. And now we're moving into the last book for January, and this was my favorite setup. I was obsessed with it. And this is the book club pick. So if you don't know, I have a Substack that's called Fiction Focus, and if you are a supporter there, so that's going to be on the paid tier, you get mini courses every single month on a topic that the entire community that's in the supporter tier votes on. So it's a topic that you'd personally be interested in. But one other thing I'm adding this year that I'm super excited about is a book club, a fiction focused book club. And in that book club, every single month we're going to vote on a book, and the fun part is that we're going to do a video chat about it at the end of every month. So bring your drinks, I'm going to have wine, and we're just going to have a little boozy chat about these books. I'm really excited about this. I'm excited to see people face to face, and it's hard to take part of local book clubs because of timing, and you sometimes want to be in your pajamas and you can't, and so I figured this would be really fun to add to that tier. So the first vote that we had was there was 10 books that I put out as options, and we voted, and The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young was the one that got voted in, and that's our first book that we are reading. By the way, if you still want to join the book club and join Fiction Focus, it is not too late. The month is just starting, so if you've been wanting to read this book and you want to chat with us about it, then go ahead and join over there. I believe that you can join for free for 1 month. I think that's something Substack lets you do as a trial, so you can try that out and see if you like this, but we'd love to have you. And so I really liked I really ran with the greens in this one, and I went all magical, because it just felt so beautiful fantasy-ish to me, and I just wanted to add all these fantasy green and sparkly elements to it, and I really like how it worked out, because I had a lot of stickers in this theme, as it turns out, and I don't even do a lot of green spreads, but this one I kind of pulled from all over. There's washi tape, there are things that I got from local stores, there is things from Journal Say that I got, there are things that I ordered from AliExpress, from Amazon, so kind of all over the place, but I really like how it pulled together, and I really love the framing on the book cover. It really kind of brought it out. Again, I am attempting some calligraphy. I don't do calligraphy, by the way, but I'm attempting some handwritten stuff mixed with stamps, and I don't hate it in this case. I think I'm gonna try doing it a little bit better maybe for the next month, but I don't hate that mix of it. My stamps got a little wonky over here, for some reason started teetering they've been drinking all night, but they fixed themselves at the end. So I'm just stamping in the title here, and to kind of finish it off, and that's the last spread, and probably the most exciting spread, because it's the first book club for Fiction Focus, and I'm very excited for that. So as always, thank you for being here, thank you for subscribing if you are. I hope you enjoyed this video. There'll be more to come, and I hope you stay magical and that you have a wonderful new year. Bye guys.